together, my friend, you have something that nobody, no AI, nobody can copy that. As a woman of color myself, as a founder myself, as somebody who understands the power of storytelling, it's just bizarre to me how many of us overlook the most central thing that we have, the problem and the unique intervention disruption that your product offers. That is something that competitors can copy. That's something that AI can copy today, tomorrow, right? But if you marry that expertise and that knowledge that you have that's so rock solid and the receipts that you have, marry that with your personal story, with your experience, your lived experience on earth. Nobody else has seen, breathed, smelled the things that you have. When you put those two things together, my friend, you have something that nobody, no AI, nobody can copy that. That is unmessable with, unfuckable with, okay?
You ready to speak like a boss? Let's get into your most powerful story. Because your story matters.
In case nobody told you this, as the leader of your company, as the founder, something like 40% of your job is public speaking. That is communicating with people inside of your team, and definitely outward communication, outward keynoting, shaking hands, partners, making people feel seen and heard. 40% of driving that business comes from this one skill. One, public speaking. In case nobody told you, public speaking is not like some nice to have that other people are doing over there, but as the leader, as the CEO, the founder, the top executive, this is something that you absolutely have to master, and it is part of your job. It is the bottom line, okay? And what I want you to understand is why should you care? What are the benefits of public speaking and understanding how to do this skill at a level that nobody else has ever done it before? Because here's the thing, nobody else can tell your stories. Nobody else can public speak the way that you can. And when you, especially when you are a woman of color who is a leader, who is somebody who is leading a company, right? You're a founder, you're a CEO. It is a game changer for you to own this skill. What am I talking about? People who are really masterful public speakers and communicators, research shows that they have been found to be up to 2 times more trustworthy. 2 times more trustworthy, just because they are excellent at getting in front of their audience, whether that's an intimate exchange that's between you and a handful of partners during a presentation, or maybe a boardroom, or if it's a huge keynote in front of your entire industry. If almost your chances of improving trustworthiness is almost 2 times more, that is huge. That means you go from somebody who investors are considering a maybe, right, into no, we need to take this person a lot more seriously. It buys you credibility with the decision makers who matter the most in your company, in the clients that you are attracting. If clients trust you, they are more likely to put dollars behind that trust. And if you become the kind of person who's really good at public speaking, you get quoted. You get quoted in press and in media. And if you own a business, you understand how expensive it is to acquire a client. When that acquisition is free because it's from media that you didn't pay for, are you kidding me? Like, why would you not double down on that? That is, again, that is driving towards the bottom line, and it is part of your job as the founder, as the CEO. You have to understand the power of the skill, and you have to invest in the power of the skill. As a woman of color myself, as a founder myself, as somebody who understands the power of storytelling, it's just bizarre to me how many of us overlook the most central thing that we have, not only our expertise in the field of work that we've chosen, right? Like nobody knows your product better than you, and nobody knows the problems that you're solving through your product better than you. But when you don't marry that with your unique skill that no competition can copy, when you do those things in tandem, you are unstoppable and you are unfuckwithable. Because let's be serious, the problem and the unique intervention disruption that your product offers, that is something that competitors can copy. That's something that AI can copy today, tomorrow, right? We could leave this conversation with like an entire blueprint of your company and somebody else being able to run off with that, especially if they're able to raise that fundraising a heck of a lot quicker than you can. If they're fast-tracked because they're trusted more than you are, because they're visible and you are not with your expertise, what have you got? But if you marry that expertise and that knowledge that you have that's so rock solid and the receipts that you have, marry that with your personal story, with your experience, your lived experience on earth. Nobody else has seen, breathed, smelled the things that you have. When you put those two things together, my friend, you have something that nobody, no AI, nobody can copy that. That is unmessable with, unfuckable with, okay? And that is thought leadership. That is how you build thought leadership. You take that authority, you take that expertise, and that unique story that is your singular fingerprint. You marry those things together. You get strategic about which platforms you put all of that juiciness on, and you become the kind of person who is quoted. You become the kind of person who is fast-tracked because people trust you more. They know your story, they believe your story, they lean into your story, and they want more of your story. That, my friend, is a little cheat sheet that you can use starting today to get yourself and the big ideas that you are working on. You need to get those big ideas the kind of platform that they deserve. My name is Mahohodi. I hope that this has been helpful. If it has been helpful, let me know in comments. And you can also let me know in comments exactly where is it that you have found yourself needing to use your public skills that has surprised you, right? You know, we use as leaders 40% of our time is all around like really effective. You could call it storytelling, you could call it communication, you could call it public speaking, but it shows up in so many other places that might surprise you. Just this morning, negotiating with my 2-year-old about whether or not this little smart, beautiful human being is gonna put his pants on or not. That is my public speaking, my storytelling, my communications, all of that wrapped up. That is me using that skill on the true boss of my life to try and convince him, please put some pants on, it's cold outside and I don't want you to be cold. Where else does this particular skill show up for you that has been surprising or interesting? I'd love to know, let me know in comments. My name is Mahohodi. I'm also the host of Madam Speaker Says, where we get into all kinds of yummy conversations with amazing, bright, beautiful, black, brown women thought leaders who are completely reimagining what thought leadership is, okay? They are the kinds of baddies who are out here just tearing up the codes on last year's and yesterday's idea of a fuddy-duddy, white male, I said it, thought leader, and saying, wait a minute, like, that's great. I'm glad that Martin Seligman exists as a thought leader. He's done amazing work, but guess what? There's a whole category of human beings whose thought leadership has not been tapped into, right? And if humanity is going to move forward, it's time we include everybody. And that looks like you and me. Those conversations are happening. Madam Speaker Says, the podcast. It is everywhere you love to listen to your favorite episodes of podcasts. I would love to be ear buddies with you. Take me with you on a walk. Take me with you hiking if that's your thing, maybe driving somewhere lovely, or maybe it's somewhere to go pick up the laundry. Or if you're anything like me, you are probably listening to it as you squeeze moments to yourself between reporting to your main boss, who happens to be a 2-year-old who never wants to have his pants on. Okay? Thank you again for being here. I am Machochodi, and I hope to see you very soon.
Was that useful? You want to go even deeper? I'd love to support you. My coaching program can help you make money and spark action whenever you speak with intention. Book time to chat using the link in the description box below. Also, leave a comment if this video offered something you needed to hear today, or if you have a question you want me to unpack in next week's episode. Fresh episodes drop every Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern. Hit subscribe to get a notification so you never miss a beat. Thank you so much for being here. I want you to know that your story matters. And I'm here to help you stand out from the stage to the page.